Recording now. Oh,
Okay.
hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Classic Conversations. And today I have a very, very dear friend of mine on the show. She is a mental health advocate. She is an she is an avid guitar player, and just all around avid cat lover, and all around cool person. Welcome Ari to the show. How are you doing tonight, Ari?
Oh, I am doing quite well. Avid guitar player, you say? I'm good enough to know how much I suck,
No, no, no.
and I do it anyway.
It's cool. Hey, it's one of your hobbies.
Yeah,
All right.
so,
So this is we were having a little chat off air, and I said this is very much your podcast. I'm your interview, I should say. It is not a podcast. So this is very much your interview, and I'm going to just kind of provide you with a little bit of steering, but this is pretty much your thing. I'm just here to listen. So let me just start out by asking. I know this pandemic has been really tough on everyone. So how has it been for you?
oh my goodness. I f- I'm lucky to have the relationship with the boyfriend intact, but I could not do that first half of 2020 again where I couldn't see anyone. It was oddly peaceful and I had a great roommate, but we're going to see more and more mental health problems come about in the years after COVID.
Right,
It's terrifying. I'm still terrified we could easily lock down again.
right. Uh, so keeping with the theme of the pandemic, what, like, if anything, what has this pandemic taught you, if anything?
What has the pandemic taught me?
Yeah,
That I'm actually really good at solitude. I enjoyed how quiet it was. I had to learn how to entertain myself and be good with just my own company. After a while, I got used to it pretty well, but there's some parts I couldn't repeat, like not seeing my boyfriend for 4 months.
right. That's tough.
That was horrible.
It is very tough. So you a little bit earlier on you addressed mental health. So do you want to talk about mental health and what and how you deal with it and all of that? Do you want to talk about it?
Oh goodness, where can we begin?
It's your interview.
I can begin where my life fell apart 10 years ago because I got a divorce, or how many times I've been diagnosed with things in my teens. But the easiest way to start this story would be with where I am now.
Mhm.
I often joke that I proudly tell people I have schizophrenia for a living, and it's not too far off. Sometimes it results in beautiful things like being picked for an ad campaign. Sometimes you are on the clock for a pharmaceutical company, pondering, why am I doing this? How is this getting me closer to my goal of spreading the word of mental health? How is this not merely using us as a marketing tool? There's a fine line.
Right.
There's a fine line. Like, all right, you are going to wind up editing this, right? Because there are
Yeah,
going to be a lot of pauses.
yeah, no problem. I mean, yeah, it's natural. I like natural stuff. If it's If it's too bad, we can edit it. But I like more. I'm a more
Right.
guy. So yeah, go ahead.
I think where we can actually begin was where I started finding my voice in my early 30s. I joined Fountain House in New York City. It's kind of like a day program slash co-working space and case management for people who live with an Axis 1 neurodiversity. Say your schizophrenia, your depression, your bipolar disorder. You can get help with going back to school, or you can do what I did and they helped me obtain housing. But also, while they're doing all this stuff for you, there's an incredible amount to learn to do things for other people. Like we have a gallery, and I often talk about my mental health mission for Fountain House Gallery, like at Mad About Art 2015. You share your story, you make them cry, you make them buy the art of you and your colleagues. It's been a good evening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I keep getting false starts. Like, mm.
It's perfectly fine. You listen. It's your. This is what makes the interview. If you just go straight in and it's like you're going straight in and it seems rehearsed when you kind of go that way. So everything that's happening now, it's natural. It's fine. Just take your time and we'll work through it.
So eventually, you can take a route at Fountain House where you're learning to advocate for other people, and you can take a class through the Academy of Peer Services to become a peer specialist, which can range in anything from life coaching to light casework. It's sort of like um, it, it's similar to social work, but it's not a social work degree. Your degree is your lived experience with the illness and the classes you take at either Community Access's Howie the Harp program or the Academy of Peer Services online, like I did. You don't even have to be a Fountain House member to take the free online classes. And as of right now, it's a pretty good market to be a peer specialist in. You can be working anywhere from Rainbow Heights House, which is a clubhouse for neurodiverse gay people. You could be working in Community Access's Adult Home Initiative, which takes people from inappropriate levels of housing to more appropriate, least restricting environments. I just interviewed that for that position, and the whole interview process was highly educational. It's like I learned a lot more about housing law, for profit adult homes, and the Olmstead decision. And this is just for one specialized housing program. And as anyone knows, in New York City, housing is incredibly gnarly to get, whether you're getting it through a program or you're going out on your own with a broker. But it's worse to look for an apartment if you're with a program, because many landlords will look at that voucher and say, no way. Have you ever experienced anything like that, Isaiah? Or you
Uh,
know?
Not personally, but I've heard a lot of stories of people that have had apartment vouchers and just get turned away based on that. So yeah, I definitely can sympathize there.
So I recently interviewed for a job that could change everything. I've been on SSI for 7 years now. Now, I could say plenty about SSI, and I'm about to.
Sure.
It is dehumanizing to go to their offices. It is dehumanizing to fill out your activities of daily living form.
Oh geez,
And
yeah,
the
I know
way
what that
they
is.
treat you, like you're not even a full 100% human just for daring to be disabled?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what she's talking about, when you're on when you're on SSI, Social Security income, and you're applying for work or you're working, you basically have to every 3 months report your daily.
Send your stubs.
Yeah, you have to send your stubs and you have to basically report your activity, like of your earnings. So if you make over a certain amount, they cut it in half or they take
Oh
it.
my gosh.
So it's ridiculous. But
Here's the thing, it's not just that. SSI looks for multiple ways to cut you. You can't get legally married to your partner while
yeah,
on SSI without your benefits getting severely cut.
I've heard about that. Yes.
You can't leave the country for more than 30 days at a time without your benefits being cut. That nearly happened to my boyfriend. He got lucky. He got to go to trade school and become an electrician. Hopefully, I am about to get a job that will change everything and take me off of SSI. But I'm one of those people who can eventually get ticket to work, go through Access VR and start working. Who I feel worse for are the people who may never be able to leave the program like I might and are stuck in this forever, being treated as not full adults by an antiquated system. Some people won't be able to leave SSI, and we got to think about those people more.
Mhm. It's very, it's very, very real. And yeah, so you're touching on the subject of neurodiversity. So for those who don't know what you're talking about, do you care to
Yes.
educate us on the subject of neurodiversity?
The main neurodiversities are what we call the mental illnesses of bipolar, schizophrenia, schizoaffective, depression. What are also considered neurodiversities but not mental illnesses are epilepsy, Down syndrome, and autism. Those are still neurodiversities, but they don't fall under the mental illness umbrella. And I'm
Mhm.
also talking about fighting for our rights, um, going to meet politicians in Albany to, all right, every year, Community Access and Carla Rabinowitz, she's a big deal there. They organize like 8 buses of the various day programs to go upstate to Albany to talk to politicians about whatever mental health concerns we have that year that to go to law.
Right. And how's that experience for you?
Oh, I've already gone twice. It's been interesting. Sometimes you have to have a really good elevator pitch of what your mission is that year, be it housing or more funding to get people out of adult homes. Um, you have to have a really good elevator pitch because you're in and out of those offices in 5 minutes each, and you're like going through a battery of politicians' offices, and every group is given a sheet of who they have to talk to. Sometimes we don't even get the representative; we get their intern.
Yeah, so it's like speed dating.
Oh yeah, speed dating for law and politics. Yes, but this is called lobbying day, and nearly every cause eventually has one.
Yeah, most definitely. So so what do you okay, what do you call it? So let's take it back if we can. What was growing up like for you?
I grew up very religious. I identified as a goth in my teenage years, but I kind of had to hide all I was very, very into. I had to hide large parts of myself, who I was as a human, because of my religious family. You know, be a be a good kid, get married young. I got married at 20. That did not work out. But I'm far from being an atheist, but I found that most organized religion is not right for me. I grew up with strict rules that defied meaning or logic. I grew up feeling like an immigrant to a land I was already born in, and that's on top of being alternative or unusual. It's weird. I have no friends you could consider normal. Most of us are weird hair colors, artists, live with the neurodiversity. I what is even normal?
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that, what is normal these days?
Sitting on a
Especially these
washing
days.
machine.
What is normal? Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Normal is just a setting on a washing machine.
Yeah, that's a nice, good way to put it. So what if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Advice for younger Ari: submit your art to the galleries much sooner than you actually did. I did not start submitting to galleries and getting shows until my early 30s. I'm realizing looking back that I could have gone far more shows when I was younger. So if you have that creative thing that's itching you that you've been meaning to do forever, just head out and submit already. It's like your first gallery show will be awful. Um, it may take you 10 tries till you sell everything off the walls. It, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, but do it anyway. It can start now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have submitted my artwork far earlier than I did.
Oh, okay, which is a perfect segue into my next question. Do you have any, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Right now, I'm actually working on my own coloring book. I'm looking for a good printer for that. That's actually been fun. Looking for a good printer with thick paper for that one. I collect dollhouse miniatures, and I'm also into nature photography. I have a bunch of like scattered hobbies that I'm not super serious about. And
Hey.
I also recently became a gym rat.
Yeah, I just got back into the gym myself, so yeah, we're definitely in the same boat there.
So let's see what's next. But oh yeah, you touched upon hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest is going to local metal concerts. I met my boyfriend at one at Blackthorn 51 about 4.5 years ago, and I haven't stopped going to shows since. They are that socially acceptable place to scream your head off and come out healed.
Hmm.
Local metal shows are always affordable. They're never more than $20. Sometimes you get to see up to 6 bands in one go, depending on if you have to work the next day. And you and I share a lot of friends that are also in the metal community.
Mm-hmm.
It, it's interesting. It's almost as if the Venn diagram of my friends who LARP, my friends who are into metal, my friends who are into disabled advocacy, that Venn diagram is practically a circle. It's a pancake, man. It's all the same people.
Right. Hey, I'm not super into metal, but I do find myself listening to a lot of it, especially in the gym.
Every wrestling fan is at least a little bit into metal. Some of these things are so connected.
Yeah, true.
Every
Um, no, no, go ahead, Tor. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, what did you say?
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh
Sorry,
no, I was waiting for what you were gonna say.
go ahead. Sorry, I no, go ahead. I'll finish my thought after. Yeah.
Oh, I already forgot my thought. So
It's funny. So okay, let's see. What is it? Okay, when you're not talking about mental health or advocating for mental health, I should say, when you're not advocating for mental health or dabbling in art projects or anything like that. But like, what's your ideal day off? Like, what if
oh,
you do anything on your day off? What would it be?
my ideal day off is getting up as late as possible and seeing a movie at the theater, which is something I haven't done in a very long time. I would pick the longest action or comic book movie at the theater and just kick back, sit there knitting, staring at the screen, just turn my brain off for 3 straight hours and watch the pretty explosions of whatever I've chosen to watch. Then I
So
go home and make dinner.
yeah.
The
So,
perfect day off would be a day at the movies.
so are you I heard you say, comic and action movies. So are you a fan of comic book movies or are you
All right, here's the thing. I love comic book movies. I love the Spider-Man, the Avengers, all of that, but I love them very loosely. I have friends who will go super serious about all the events of Endgame, and I'm like, pretty thing on screen go boom boom, that character is hot.
ah
I'm
very
I'm
simple.
very loosely. I'll watch all of them, but I can't guarantee I'll understand a thing.
It's okay. If you ever need help in that department, I'm always available to chat.
The Avengers is like 30 movies worth of lore. Where do we even start to begin on that?
So there is an actual correct order that you can watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Some people may disagree with it, but there is an actual official correct order to watch the MCU universe. I will send you the link after we're done with this conversation, so you can take a look at it to see how the MC Marvel Cinematic Universe should be watched.
How it should be watched. Like, this is a very hotly debated topic,
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
oh yeah. People have debated this for years, ever since the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was in 2008. So yeah, people have been debating this for years.
I will believe whatever order you put the movies in for me. I'll believe them.
Oh no, yeah, I like I kid you not. There is an official like chart that that lists the order that they should be watched in.
Because I don't know which one I lost track. I remember watching one Avengers based movie shortly after my divorce, and then I lost track completely.
Okay, so
They're all gonna be good.
if you don't mind me, maybe I can help you out with that.
Go for it. Go for it.
What year did you get divorced?
That would have been 2012.
Oh, so that was the very first Avengers.
Yes, I watched one that I lost track entirely. And everyone's telling me, watch the new Spider-Man movie. You need to. You need to.
Oh,
Why do we keep
definitely.
making Spider-Man movies?
You can ask the same you can ask the DC creators the same thing about Batman, but hey, we're gonna watch them.
Batman. I used to respect him, but now you just these days Batman doesn't translate well. He's basically Elon Musk in a bat suit. He
I've
could
actually
do
never heard of this
actual
one.
good for Gotham with his money, but no, instead he chooses to let the city fester so he can collar the criminals himself. Batman doesn't translate well anymore.
Ah, okay. So, um, yeah. So, like I said, I will send you the Marvel Cinematic chart, which doesn't include. Which doesn't include the current phase because it's very young and it's in its infancy. We're in phase 4 now, so but it does include the first 3 phases, which I will send you that chart. But anyway, let's see. Uh, do you have any hidden talent and any hidden talents that you speak of are purely optional to display? You do not have to, you can speak on them, you do not have to display them if you do not want to.
I wouldn't really say hidden talent. I'm more like um Jill of all trades, master of none. I'll
Hmm.
take up I'll take up a new hobby out of nowhere and I'll have it for like 2 weeks before I pick up the next one. It's the ADHD in me. But hidden talents? If I didn't scream my head off at last night's concert, I'd be able to sing today. But my throat is gone.
Okay, we'll save that for another interview. um so if okay, let's see. We've already touched on music. You're into metal, but are there any other genres of music that you're into besides metal?
Yes, I'll listen to I'll listen to nearly anything. I don't quite understand the pop that's going around today, but my brain is stuck in 90s alternative. My brain is stuck in 90s alternative and 90s hip hop, all this stuff that was on your KTU and your Z100.
What a,
That's where I'm stuck.
what a great place to be stuck at, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. My music taste, other than metal, which is metal I only got into in the last 5 years, most of my music taste has been stuck in the same 10-year period for the last 20 years.
Nothing wrong
Where
with
you
it.
at on that?
Nothing wrong with that. I'm in the same boat. Actually, I will and it also depends on my mood. Like if I'm in the gym, of course I want some high energy, rock or metal music to listen to, and some hip hop. But if I'm like just relaxing at home, you'll probably catch me listening to some 80s music, some what am I listening to now? What's on my 80s Spotify list? Playlist. I have some Hall and Notes on there. I have some Journey. I have some oh man. Some Guns N' Roses. Like I have a pretty eclectic music taste.
Dude, Spotify, I feel, was one of the best things to happen to music. When
It
I
is.
was younger, you would have you would have your tape deck. You would wait for the song. You would record the song on your tape deck.
Oh yeah, no,
You would rip from YouTube to your cell phone.
right? Yeah. Oh yeah, YouTube to MP3
You
was
would rip
amazing, right?
from YouTube to your cell phone. People don't understand how good we have it now with Spotify.
Oh yeah, no, and also remember LimeWire.
And the viruses we got from it.
Oh yeah, oh, no, and then you had to wait super like if you had to look at the star rating on the side to make sure it was the right song, and then
And
stuff.
this song will either download in 10 minutes or in 6 hours. We don't know.
That is true. All different download rates. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, you kids that don't know what we're talking about, you guys do not know how easy you have it with streaming services and all this good stuff. But yeah,
Oh my gosh, streaming services, it's like cable. You still have 60 channels and nothing to watch.
I definitely feel you there. I yeah,
All right.
definitely, man.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much for having me.
No, no, no. Hey, listen. Before we wrap up, I know I asked you this, and if you don't have one, it's okay. Do you? Matter of fact, two questions before we wrap up. Okay.
Okay.
So first question is, do you have anything coming up that you want to promote? You can promote Zev's band if you want. Anything that you have coming up? Anything?
Okay. I don't have anything gallery wise coming up, but I would love it if you all could check out the band In Surreal on Spotify. They have a couple of new songs up, and we're expecting a new album any month now. Check out In Surreal. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And last question before we wrap up. I know I had asked you this like when we first started discussing this, but do you have any question for me that you wanted to always ask me, or something that you just wanted to know, whatever the case may be?
Who was your first favorite wrestler?
Oh, who was my first favorite wrestler? That's a good one. I would probably have to go with Macho Man Randy Savage, because that was like I remember, and I'll say this. I've said this at nauseum before. I remember the match that got me hooked on wrestling, which is why I decided to get into wrestling myself and all that. But the match that got me hooked is Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania 3 in 1987. So that's the um that's the earliest memory I have of professional wrestling. I didn't watch it till 1989 because I was born in 87, but that is my earliest memory of professional wrestling, and it'll always be my favorite match. And going back and watching it now, there's so much great storytelling in that match, and the build up was great, and I can go on and on for hours about it. But yeah, so that will always be my favorite match.
You can tell quite a bit by whose favorite first wrestler someone has. For me, it's Hulk Hogan. Sunday morning wrestling every single morning from like 1998 through the early 90s. So for me, it was Hulk Hogan.
So yeah, yeah, Hulk Hogan is definitely a iconic and household name in the industry. I don't have to explain who Hulk Hogan is, because even if you don't know professional wrestling, you know who Hulk Hogan is. So yeah,
Everyone's brother.
that is true. So thank you once again for doing this, sweetheart. I really appreciated this interview. Was very, very informative for me. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed your company, and I hope we can do this again sometime soon.
All right. Thank you for having me, Isaiah. Isaiah, have a good night.
The pleasure is all mine. Um, so yeah, I this has been another episode of Classic Conversations, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.